It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. I'm joined this week by Matt, Dan, and Foxy. We'll get right into it as usual because we've got loads of questions. The first one being from TWS, who's actually asked, I think, half the questions for this episode. So it's more or less his show now. But anyway, he's still thinking about Coleman's goal against Leeds. Who isn't? So his first question is, what are the best goals you've seen at Goodison? I think mine are probably opposition goals mostly. But I remember Drogba, Matt Holland scoring absolute screamers against us.
There's so many to go from, aren't there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I always remember? Ben Arthur for Newcastle at the Gladys Street.
Oh God, yeah.
He's about like 35 yards out and he hit it like across the goal. Obviously Tim Howard got nowhere near it. And continuing like the Newcastle Maverick theme, didn't Lauren Robert score an amazing one at the Park End?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So any left-footed player that played for Newcastle tends to score belters against us.
Would you say for us, Wayne Rooney's is up there? I think it's got to be for me.
Yeah.
Which one?
The one from the halfway. Oh, so yeah. I
wasn't thinking the West Ham one.
The Arsenal one, yeah. But I think the one against West Ham from the halfway line.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets enough credit, that goal, because of the circumstances and everything. But it was the way it was Ogbonna who was at the back. And it sailed about 3 inches over his finger.
Yeah, he cuts across it, doesn't he? And it's really flat. The trajectory is just really flat, and it just sort of he cuts across it, and it just does enough to clear them all, doesn't it? Just enough. It's just it's brilliant.
Yeah. Was that Allardyce's first win?
It was. It was when Big Sam
he's not yet in the building.
He wasn't actually the manager then, though, was he?
He wasn't the manager, no. He took the credit, though. Very Allardyce. But I stick on the left footers from before. So Bainesy against Leicester when it's 2-2. I sat in the paddock on the halfway line. I was right behind it. You know when you sit off the left foot, top corner, and it went 2-2. And I think we were 2 down in that. We came back to take it 2-2, and then clearly we lost some penalties, which is
the levels of disappointment, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely standard. But being behind that and watching that go in, and knowing this was last season, wasn't it? We're kind of thinking, is he going to win something?
Yeah,
it was last season again. Clearly we didn't. It wouldn't be us if we did, but that was amazing.
There was right a minute left as well, wasn't there? It was like right at the end.
It was right at the end, and it kind of just came across him, and he just caught it perfectly, top corner. And it's one of those quite often. I don't know, Goodison. He goes mad, but not that mad on that one. It just went absolutely mental. Yeah. And you kind of hugging random people that I've never seen before, like left and right of you in the paddock and stuff. It's a great hit.
I love it. I thought of 2 goals that involved James McFadden.
Yeah.
You got the classic one, the little dummy one.
Yeah.
But I remember James Beattie scoring a goal. And McFadden's on the edge of the box facing Beattie. And McFadden knocks it down to Beattie, and Beattie catches it with one of those lovely looping top of the foot volleys.
Was that fun?
Yeah, and as he hits it, McFadden celebrates because he's got his back to goal. He's got his back, but he nods it. He pushes it down to Beattie. Beattie goes straight through it, lifts it straight over, and McFadden's already kind of going, "Way!" like that. And it's just like, but that one against Charlton, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the famous one.
Yeah.
That was stunning. That was just absolutely incredible.
But Billy Letternoff scored a few, didn't he, as well?
Oh, he scored a couple of absolute belters, didn't he?
The one he scored against United, like I've never seen a goal like that before. Like all since, where like it's just like, why has it ended up there? Like because it sort of like goes low, doesn't it? And like he hits across the ball.
Yeah.
Like if De Gea was in goal for them or Van der Sar, and he just doesn't look at it like, the ball didn't really move there, just transported from one place to another. And just my final for me, I remember Van Persie scoring a volley at the Gladys Street end, like 90-odd minutes. We were winning 1-0. I just came to him at like the tightest angle, stoppage time. It was like, bloody hell. He struck that ridiculously. So probably more against us than for us.
Yeah. That United fixture at Goodison is a game that has a lot of last-minute goals.
Yeah.
Or a lot of last-minute drama if the goal gets cancelled. Yeah. Well, have we played them this season?
Yeah, we got beat 2-1. Ronaldo's last goal, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's 700 game or something.
What's yours, Les?
I enjoyed that Rooney one. That was really good just because, just the way he hit it was unreal. And you kind of, it seemed to go really slowly, and you were thinking, is it going in? Oh my God, it's going in. And then it went in, and it was mad. Not sure. I should really give this more thought, shouldn't I? I think I'll come back to you on that one. And the second part of this question, Opta said that shooting from the position Coleman did gives a 12% chance of scoring. See, these questions aren't just off the cuff thing. There's research goes into this. What other Everton things stand at the 12% chance mark currently? Survival ever being any good?
Yeah, I gave it a bit of thought. I reckon so 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, we were second. So I'm always very optimistic what we could do. And you kind of look at the teams of 7th, 8th, 9th, and they're not particularly special. So 12% chance, end of next year, we could be back up 7th, 8th, 9th.
I like the positivity. I've just thought of a goal, by the way. One that I really enjoyed was Richarlison's overhead kick against United.
Yeah.
Because that was just like, it was such an improbable result, an improbable goal against them. And I just remember going berserk with my dad and the kids, because it was like one of those things that you're like, is this really happening? This is just a bit too good. So yeah, I think that one's definitely up there. Anyway, 12%. Dan?
Well, the 12, I mean, I was looking the other day, we're only 10 points adrift to Chelsea, which is weird, isn't it? Shows you how mad the league is. But 12%, there's probably 12% chance of me getting a Sean Dyche tattoo by the end of the season.
Have you decided where to get it yet?
If I've already, he's going to go. Somewhere there or there, next to my angry pink.
For people listening, there's about 2 clear spaces on Dan's leg where he
well, the other one's completely full, so I can't do the other one. It's got to go on the left-hand side. So it'll either go next to my angry pink panther or a doodle that one of my godchildren did, and I liked it so much I had it tattooed on my leg, and it's like a sort of square box with tentacles. But yeah, so it's probably 12% chance of me ending up with a picture of Sean Dyche on my leg, and I'm going to have the words something like commitment without pleasure, or effort without guile.
Isn't his favourite saying maximum effort is the minimum requirement?
Yeah.
I'm saying that in football tomorrow, definitely.
when Bob Mortimer does his impression of him on Atletico Mints, he's got a saying which is, if you haven't spewed up, we're out of the cup. So I might get something like that underneath. So there's probably 12% chance of that. I reckon there's probably 12% chance of Decore putting in another 2 decent performances before he throws another tantrum and ends up training on his own. There's probably a 12% chance of Yerry Mina stringing 2 games together. You know, we are almost a club built on the small chance, aren't we? The sort of sub 20% chance. It's like there's 20% chance that we'll ever find a goal scorer to get 20 goals a season ever again. You know,
12% chance of Damari Gray getting a run out.
Yeah,
I took a lot of stick last week for that tweet when I said it seems like Dyche's blind spot is that Iwobi's a winger and Decore's like only 5th for the bench. I think I said something like that. The amount of people who came back saying, yeah, because he's lazy and he's not a team player. It's like, is he?
Stop getting on Dyche's back already, Les, will you?
No, well, exactly. Yeah, God, give him a chance, will you? Jesus. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Damari Gray's a lazy player. I can see why people would say he's not a team player, because he does a lot of stuff and takes it on his own. But, you know, in games like last week against Leeds, that was the sort of thing I thought we needed.
Yeah.
To sort of go at them. And it does seem a little bit of a blind spot at the minute, but, you know, can't complain.
He was going to come on, wasn't he, before we scored?
He was, yeah. And then we scored.
And the up and off. Just on this question, by the way, I'm not having it's that high, 12. That seems high to score from that position.
From that angle.
Yeah. If Coleman has that shot 100 times, there's no way he's scoring 12 goals.
Are you saying Coleman or a good player? So if you've got like a reasonably talented player hitting it.
I still think that's high. Like, I think you've got if you've got Mbappe to have 100 shots from there, I don't think he's scoring 12 of them.
Running at full pace. At full pace.
Yeah. This is my thing with when people are saying, did Coleman mean it? I think he meant it, but he could never do it again.
Yeah, it's the same way when you buy a lottery ticket, you mean to win it, but you don't think you are. Yeah,
Pretty much.
I've got a few answers for this one. 12% chance of the time and Z cars right when the plays come out the tunnel. Drumby hitting. That's terribly done all the time. Although it's got better since the siren's gone because there's obviously not as many things to maneuver. 12% chance of the board coming back. I think that's probably about right.
Yeah,
now the end of the season. And probably 12% chance of us signing a striker in the summer as well. I'd still only rated it about that high, given how we've gone about the last two windows.
Yeah, replace Kubu with sentiments. Kubu, Lukaku. Christ, we didn't replace Kubu. We did, to be fair, didn't we?
We did replace Kubu with sentiments, didn't we? As well, it was Kalen Fellaini up front for a bit. Yeah.
Oh God, we've always been just dreadful at everything. Charlotte bringing us back down to earth here. Who do you think has the biggest head in the team that doesn't suit his body? I think Michael Keane's up there. You know, his head looks a bit big.
Yeah. Difficult one, that.
Michael
Cody's head's quite big.
The less hair he's got as well, I think.
Yeah,
it's
Connor Cody as well.
It's that whole rock star proportion, isn't it? Because if you look at some of the biggest rock stars in the world, they've all got these giant Swedes. Like Bob Dylan's head is massive and his body's tiny. Bowie was the same. Mick Jagger's the same. They've all got these massive heads and these tiny little stick-thin bodies.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest head, I think James Tarkowski's head looks pretty big.
He's quite a chunky fella, isn't he? I think just Sagana Gay has probably got the biggest head proportion to his body for the same David Bowie.
He does look like a pop vinyl, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shout. And Charlotte being dead on brand. I mean, she asked something similar last week, but you know, it's her thing. Reckon Dice is a hard knacker or a washing machine type of vibe. I don't really know what she means by that. Can anyone shed any light?
I was going to ask you, Les, what a washing machine.
Sort of an aggressive tongue, a very very searching tongue.
Very thankful that Dan did the action with his finger and not with his tongue.
There's still time.
I was waiting for somebody to do that. Then I was like, oh no.
But no, I think it means someone that's, you know, got you by the back of your head. They've clasped you by the nape of your neck. They've brought you right in. It's so intense that you're probably struggling to breathe out of one nostril. And then the tongue's gone in.
Yeah.
And it's given it the full anti-clockwise, clockwise, kicking all your molars out. You know,
that's what I imagine when I think of Daesh.
I think he's doing that. He's probably heavily aroma of sort of leather and Old Spice and stuff like that. And he's probably playing Phil Collins.
Definitely playing Phil Collins.
Yeah, Feel It in the Air Tonight or something. Yeah. And he's got you.
Oh, and then the drums. So
is he doing the drums behind his back?
Yeah. What? So, like, you know, kind of assuming that Dice is one of these two. What if he got like a really gentle touch? What if he's a really gentle lover?
He might be a gentle lover. He might be a very considerate, gentle lover.
It could be.
I've imagined Lampard was.
What's that?
Yeah. I imagine Lampard was. I imagine he's more of a gentle touch.
Could be.
Lampard's probably oils, aromatherapy,
candles.
Yeah. Enya.
By the time you set all that up, you just want to get your head down, basically. And final one from Charlotte, 3 in 1 here. Which player would be the best kid to have? Jordan Pickford.
Do you know what? I thought Neil Mopey for this, and he's going to be the answer for another question coming up as well. Like he would just be like a mischievous child, wouldn't he? That would just piss everybody off.
He would. Actually, yeah, Jordan Pickford might get a little bit annoying, mightn't he?
Yeah.
I think it depends what you want in a kid. So if you want a mischievous, fun kid, definitely. But I think if you want like a studious, hardworking, cries when you tell him off kid, like probably Mikolenko. He looks like when he was at school, he did all his homework on time, tidied his room, put the dishes away, was bang on everything.
Yeah. Everyone wants to cry when you tell them off, kid.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my 2.5-year-old to cry when I tell her off. She just looks at me and laughs, and it's not working yet.
I don't think I think that ship's sailed now.
Anybody that's seen my kids' rig outs will know that I'd probably have more affinity with a child like Tom Davis. My son.
Stanley wears some incredible gear.
Yeah. So I think that would be more. I'd have a better affinity with a sort of a slightly more extravagant younger Tom Davis. You know, I think a Jordan Pickford would be like having, you know, a kid that's basically eating a kilo of sugar all the time. You know,
Yeah.
I think it would just
constantly
be
on blue Smarties.
Yeah, just be a bit too much, asking you for a bottle of Prime every 15 minutes. Can I have a bottle of Prime, Dad? Can I have a bottle of Prime?
Oh God, that's how he's celebrating his new contract tonight, isn't it? He's definitely just necking that. Yeah.
£200 bottles.
Blue Raz Prime and Blue Raz Vapes. Definitely very Jordan Pickford that. So Maggie's come in with a question that we've held over for 2 shows, not for any particular reason, but here we go. What score would you all get in Dice's bleep test? In-person examples expected and appreciated. Maybe we'll have to do this sort of when we're all together one time again. Do you want an idea of what a good bleep test score is?
Yeah.
So I think I got about 13 when I was in school. According to bleeptestguide.com, a good result. There are a few reliable sources of, oh God, sorry, I'll start again. There are few reliable sources of men reaching level 17 on the bleep test. Any score above 15 is considered excellent. For women, level 15 is the highest seen, and anything above level 14 is an excellent score. So
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't really remember doing it in school that much. I remember, yeah. Maybe it's like a last day of the season job when we've all had a bevy. I feel like that'd be much more fun than just actually doing it normally.
That's a good shout. Yeah, we'll all get down to Hoylake.
So they'll let us on the pitch on Goodison at the end.
We'll do it on our pitch. Oh yeah, I'll do it at Goodison. Yeah, let's make this happen.
After the Bournemouth game, we stay up again.
Who'd be the first to throw up? Probably me.
I wouldn't be far behind. I reckon it gets about 3 or 4 now, and I think that's at walking pace. I did it at school. We used to do it at school for sports and stuff, and I think I got to about 11, and that was enough. So getting to 13, that's good.
I can Paddy would cry off. He'd like, he gets like 3 or 4, get tired, his laces would be undone. He'd be like, I can't do it anymore. I feel sick. Yeah, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I'm not too sure I could do it in Crocs. So, you know.
Get it then. Yeah, Crocs and dungarees, mate.
Yeah.
Is there an Everton player you reckon you could beat in it? Like, I know we all know, like, didn't McNeil and Godfrey win? Like,
I'm not having McNeil.
Who do you reckon was last?
Yerry Mina did the Paddy Boyland.
Yeah.
Pulled out on 3.
Yeah.
I think Cody would struggle.
What's the name of that third choice goalkeeper, which is the best job in the world?
Lonergan.
Oh, Lonergan, yeah.
It's a brilliant job, isn't it? Get paid
Like,
loads of money for doing that.
Isn't he, or something?
Yeah.
I reckon I could take him on. We both get to 4.
Like, this like on a bit of a tangent, like the women's T20 World Cup's going on at the moment, and like it's in South Africa, and they all had to do like a fitness test before the tournament started, and their best player, like they had to run like 2K in like a certain amount of time, and she like missed it by like a couple of seconds, and they binned her from the squad completely because she didn't do it.
The best player?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, they got to the final today, so it's obviously worked. Like, but at the time, I was like, bloody hell, this is pretty brutal. I mean, cricket doesn't really feel like a sport you need to be able to run 2K for, really.
Not really, no.
A bit like golf, isn't it?
Yeah.
God, yeah. Did he do those sorts of who won the running stats in cricket? I can't imagine he do.
No idea, but
now, I can't imagine there's a heat map in cricket, is there?
I remember Ross Barkley put his 5K on.
Some geezer, big red mark, some geezer down the silly mid off. Because it's sort of red spot. It's like, that's very good.
Do you remember Ross Barkley put his 5K on Strava and everyone realised he'd cheated?
No, I didn't remember that. Did he?
Yeah, he put it on like as if I think he said he'd done 5K in 16 minutes, and then everyone was like, that's your exercise time, your overall time. So he'd obviously just been sprinting like a bit, stopping it, sprinting again, stopping it.
He probably didn't even realise he was cheating either, did he?
Yeah, bless him.
TWS with another question. What are you giving up for Lent? Bleep test. Is it hope? Ironically, anyone giving anything up for Lent?
No, I'm trying to make sure I don't have any warm red wine. So we've got installed a wine fridge, which is the fanciest thing I've had in the house for ages. So any red wine is 13 degrees. So
That's
my
pretty
thing for
fancy.
Lent is not having any warm red wine, just
I
chilled
like
red
that.
wine.
That's
good.
the sort of thing you should just give up rubbish things.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah,
Improve the quality of your life.
massively.
Fully into that. I saw someone on Twitter giving up roast dinners for Lent, but apparently there's a loophole in that if you're a Catholic, Sunday is a day off Lent, so you can have your Sunday dinner anyway.
I've not heard that before.
Apparently, I'm just relaying information. It's not my thing, but that's what I heard. There was some sort of Sunday loophole.
Sounds about right.
If it's true, that's quite genius, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Dan, giving anything up for Lent?
I could give up roast dinners tomorrow and it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, we've had this, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
do
pub
it.
roast dinners.
Yeah. No. When I am, High Commandant of Suffolk, I'm going to make that law. I'm going to enforce that law with people who are called tasars. And they're going to be men and women dressed in dungarees and Crocs, obviously, with fake white beards. And they're going to go out to pubs all over the county with tasers. And anybody found serving a giant Yorkshire pudding, bang, taser. And
I'm like a Dan's dystopian Suffolk.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Bring it on, man. I'll be one of those tasers all day.
Yeah, but no, you see, because my relation to religion has been so disproportionately sort of split over. My mum's a born again Christian kind of person. I think it's just purely for guilt reasons. So she sort of decided that later on in life she better try and make an atonement for the previous shit. I think that's what it is, really.
As soon as that sense of mortality starts to kick in,
yeah,
gosh,
exactly.
I better do something about this.
But yeah, Lent, Easter, all that sort of stuff, it kind of passes me by, really. So, but I could probably do with giving up random slices of toast throughout the day. I eat far too much shit bread in that kind of running out of the house, slice of toast, get home before I've got to do something else. Oh, quick slice of toast. I had a slice of toast before I came on here. I eat far too much shitty bread folded over with Marmite in as a kind of a way of just, I've got to do that. I'm walking the dog, slice of toast. So I could probably ditch the shit white bread toast obsession for a bit.
Though, isn't it? Whatever gets you through.
Yeah.
Matt?
No, I'm not giving anything up, but I would also like to agree with Dan that roast dinners are crap. So
Fair enough.
That's all I have to say.
I don't agree, but it's a game of opinions.
They are very overrated.
Welcome to my taser.
It's qualified. First question.
Yeah, Matt Jones, Formby branch. Jonathan's asked. Jonathan, it's only JK. It feels mad calling him Jonathan. If you were sat beside the current AFC player on a flight, long or short, flight, not the player, or it could be the player, who would you most like to be sat next to, Matt?
I'll just say, this is one of the best questions I think we've ever had.
It's a belter, isn't it?
Absolutely, boss. I thought about it quite a lot today, and I think the obvious answer for this one is Seamus Coleman, I think. Nice guy. I don't think he'd talk to you too much. You get some good stories from him, and he'd probably just have a nice kip when the talking naturally came to an end, and it wouldn't be awkward. So I'm going to go Seamus.
Yeah, he'd be considerate of your needs, wouldn't he, on the flight?
Yeah, he wouldn't put his arm across your armrest either. Like he'd give you sufficient space to have your own little bit of playing.
Yeah,
I reckon when you'd finish your you're playing food, he'd be like, "Oh, do you want me to put do you want to put your tray on mine so you can put your tray up and stuff like that?"
He'd have the aisle seat, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
And
he'd be
let me
sound.
put his-
Yeah.
yeah.
And he'd say like, "Oh, I'm not eating this bit of bread and butter. Do you want mine?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
He'd also be a good
I think
person
it'd be
to
really
sit
nice.
behind.
Yeah, it'd be
He
really
wouldn't
nice.
Pop a seat back.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
When the flight had finished, he'd be like, "Do you want me to get your bag down out the hold at the top?"
Yeah, definitely. Foxy.
I cheated on the question a bit, so I went for Rachel Finnis-Brown. So she used to be an Everton player, but she's not anymore. She's also married to Tommy Fleetwood's caddy.
Okay.
So I reckon the level of chat would be quite good. So you wouldn't have to talk about Everton, which is ideally what you're looking for at any point in your life. But I think it'd be quite a good chat sat next to her.
It's a shout.
And in terms of like the least, I think if you were next to Cody or Pickford, it'd be like a lads' holiday thing. Just
In
be
between
absolutely
them.
meant. It'd be awful. I'm fully on for like the low energy, bit like Matt with the Seamus Coleman. Just have a nice chat, chill out, do your own thing, and talk to them at the end of the flight, and not anything in between. Have your own space. So I think like a Begovic or a Coleman be pretty low energy.
Begovic is a good shout.
Pickford or a Cody would be awful. I'd change these.
Yeah, Cody and Tarkovsky as well.
Yeah.
They'd be giving it the dad banter, wouldn't they?
Cody Tarkovsky sandwich, nightmare.
No. Now ask Laura that question. Get a different response. Dan?
I think if we can go anybody who's can we say anybody who's currently part of the Everton setup, or does it have to be a player?
Go for the Everton setup. It's fine.
Because I think for a pure man crush sort of thing, I'd just like to sit next to Leighton Baines.
Yeah.
I'd like to sit next to Leighton Baines, talk to him about, photography in France from the 1930s through to 1958 or whatever he's interested in. Coffee. What are his favourite edition of Clark's Desert Treks? Or does he go for a yogi instead, now that Johnny Marr wears them?
Yeah, I missed out. You sent me those yogis and I missed out. They'd gone by the time I got on.
So we could talk about, the Smiths and was shoegaze overrated? He's got lovely hair. I'm sure he'd smell beautifully subtle. Again, he's not
smells of.
What's that?
What do you reckon he smells of?
I think he smells of a single origin Ethiopian bourbon washed coffee and intellectualism. And he's not a big lad, so he's not going to kind of cramp you, is he? With all elbows and muscles and long legs and all that. And I think he'd pack light. He's not going to. He's probably got a beautiful handmade leather little holdall. That he just sticks in the overhead. Probably, it doesn't even touch yours. It's just enough for his weekend away. He's probably going to buy clothes when he gets out there because he's that kind of guy. I just think it would be absolutely fantastic. And he maybe, as we're getting off, he says, "Where are you staying?" You say, "Oh, I'm in Piazza della whatever," and he goes, "I'm going to the Museum de tomorrow." And I go, "Oh, really?" He goes, "I've got a spare ticket to the opera if you fancy it." And I go, "Yeah, go on then. What's on?" He goes, "The Traviata." I go, "My favourite." And the next thing you know, we're eating spaghetti like Lady and the Tramp.
Is this fantasy going to go to the flight home as well? All the way through the holiday.
I'm sold.
And the least, I did have an idea. I was going to say something, but I might not because my Twitter might go really, really bad.
Okay.
So
we'll keep that till we stop recording then.
But least, probably, I'm probably going to say, I'm probably with the Cody vibes.
Yeah.
Because he is a copite, right? And he probably wouldn't be able to help himself if he didn't know that you were an Everton fan sitting next to him. And he'd probably get his phone out and watch highlights of Steven Gerrard in the West Ham Cup final and things like that. You know what I mean?
He'd be telling people to be quiet when the security video's on, wouldn't he?
Oh God, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah,
hey,
probably Cody.
Make sure your windows down for takeoff, or make sure your seatbelt's on properly. Come on.
Who's your least favourite then, Matt? Who's your least like?
Oh, Pickford, 100% Pickford. Like, he wouldn't sit still, would he? He'd be talking, like he'd be like constantly looking behind him, like the seat in front.
Oh, he definitely do that thing kids do and sort of pop up and look over like that.
Yeah, definitely. He'd probably
You
sit
got
next to the
anything to
window.
He'd be
He'd
drumming on
probably
the
sit next to
table.
the window because he'd want to see out the window and then need to go for a piss within like 20 minutes and have to like climb. Everyone would have to get out. And then, oh yeah.
He's definitely a cheering when it lands, isn't he?
Yeah,
Oh,
he would be, yeah.
Yeah. I think Yerry Mina would be a nightmare to sit next to as well.
Oh, massive, isn't he?
So big.
Yeah.
And he'd get
doing
cramp.
TikToks all the time as well, wouldn't he?
Definitely get cramp. Right. And it'd be an absolute disaster. Got another one from TWS. The ball boy at the Park End came away with Pickford's shirt at the end of the Leeds game in recognition for his service to delaying tactics. It was genuinely a Ben Foster-esque performance from that ball boy. He was sensational, he really was. Who else in Goodison non-playing roles should get a reward? What for and why? Dan, Leighton Baines for services to everything that's great, maybe?
Yeah. I think whoever runs the Twitter account, quite frankly, because that just must be those notifications every day when you get into work and log in must just be absolutely chaotic.
Yeah. I think
imagine
it's quite hard not to take it personally as well.
You imagine that every day you get into work, you turn up, you log in, and it's like, you know, when people do that thing before they go on holiday to make themselves look intensely important, where they post how many emails they've got in their inbox before they go on holiday, you know. And I'm sure that if you run the Everton Twitter account every morning, the notifications thing must just be absolutely berserk. It might, you know, and then you've just got to take this constant thing of sign someone. When you're going to sign someone, sign someone. It's just like, so yeah, they deserve a medal because that is grim. That is a thankless task.
It really is. I'd like to think that they do it on a sort of rota. So
you'd have to.
Not even people in marketing or anything, just everyone gets to go of it. It's like, right, you're on Twitter this week, and everyone just dreads it coming round.
Yeah, you'd have to, because you can't have one person under that level of that barrage every day. So they must just have to share it out, and you probably get this thing where the person that's been on it, whose time it is to relieve themselves of that duty, probably goes straight into some sort of therapy. And then the next person comes in and they have to do the same. And there's probably like this sort of ongoing treatment room somewhere.
I've heard it's got Cam, right, that runs it, to be honest. I've heard he runs the Twitter account, but I don't know, I could be wrong. It's just what I've heard. Fox, who's getting a reward?
Yeah, well, I think it should be the board.
Okay.
So I need to explain that. Is that?
Hold on. Go ahead.
So I think, like, when you're at school, when you're at work, you got a shit teacher, shit boss. Everyone else pulls together and you kind of unite against that one thing. So last year with the fans, we had the fear of relegation, and that was the thing that united us, and we hated the thought of getting relegated. I think this year we've accepted relegation. That's very much a possible thing. So don't fear it so much. But now we hate the board. So we're kind of collectively against the board. I don't think it's any coincidence that in the last two home games, the board haven't attended and we've won both. So I would like to thank the board for unifying the fan base against them to help deliver to the team on the pitch. Because otherwise we're just going to be hating the team. And hating the team is the wrong thing. So we have to find something else that isn't the team to hate, and the board have done that. And I think BK, as I call him, has done an excellent job.
Unbelievable.
That is a tremendous shot when you put it like that, to be fair.
Someone will take that seriously as well.
He's playing fourth dimensional football manager thing, something.
The thing is, I can imagine that they, because of their insane levels of delusion, I'd imagine that there's even been a conversation somewhere along the line where someone said, us staying away is doing,
like being self-congratulatory about it.
Yeah, there has probably been an email or a Zoom chat or whatever it is where someone has turned around to, Graham Sharp probably takes credit for it because he loves it. And he's probably turned around, there's Prentice there and everybody. And they're like, have you seen the letter? They're telling us to stay away. And they're like, oh, all right, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then when they get that, final whistle against Leeds, there's probably a little phone call going around, a little WhatsApp group. Well, us not being there's got the result again, hasn't it? Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Fair play to him, though. Fair play to him. The statue should be seen.
Yeah. Oh my God, can you imagine?
Take down the Holy Trinity, put one up of like BK.
I'm still absolutely convinced. I'm absolutely convinced the way Farhad Moshiri is and the head spinning levels of lunacy that we've seen from that man, I am convinced that you will see a Ken Wright named part of the ground at Bramley.
So.
Oh, 100%. In fact, maybe each stand will just be named after a board member.
I'm absolutely convinced that he will come out, Farhad will come out, probably speak to Jim White and say, we are going to name this part of the ground after our illustrious chairman, blah, 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 blah. My friend, you know, it's going to happen. It will happen.
It's got to be, hasn't it?
The men's toilet in the south stand, maybe.
Just by the bins.
Matt, are you giving a gong to?
I was just thinking about, like, imagine if they called an end, like the Bill Kenwright end, like it'd be demolished as quicker than it was built, wouldn't it?
Ripping the seats out.
Oh my God.
Honestly, when they named the park end the Philip Carter stand, that for me, that was always the end game, that Bill Kenwright will get a stand named after him.
If not the stadium, hopefully.
Yeah, the stadium, yeah.
Well, according to Foxy, he deserves it for this great intervention this season.
He's inspirational.
But yeah, just to go off on a slight tangent and just to say how much that really annoys me that the park end is named after Philip Carter. I suppose it's fitting that it probably does make half the park end fume just the name of the stand. But when you think of the amount of players who have got more of a claim on having a stand named after them, and basically a chairman who probably fluked it in the mid-80s and fucked us up for the Premier League, no. Not for me. Anyway, Matt, who's getting a reward?
But like just on that as well, like even today when they confirmed Pickford's contract, like there's still like a line in there, wasn't there, from Kevin Fowler about the chairman and like how he's so important and all this. It's like, I mean, I don't know the answer to this, but does any other club do that when a player gets announced or there's a new deal gets announced? Like,
the really wacky thing for me is that he definitely insists on being called the chairman.
Yeah,
chairman
definitely insists on that. And that's so weird.
Yeah.
Very strange.
It's good leadership. That's what we're saying.
There's going to be someone listening to this who thinks you're being serious here. And there's going to
what we need to do is like just cut Foxy's bits in isolation.
You'll get retweeted by that Ken Wright account. Have you seen that one?
No, I need to find that. Is it good?
There's a Ken Wright account that basically retweets all the stuff from the All Together Now and all that, saying, you know, these thick fans think they're doing this for the right of the good of the team and the good of the thing. You know, all they're doing is ruining this, and you know, Bill's done this much and he's done that much and he's taken the club to this point. You know, these stupid fans think they can do it. But it's basically this kind of constant stream of everybody that's involved in the protests and him retweeting and going, look at this moron, thinks he can do that, thinks he can do this. And he's got Ken Wright as his avatar.
It's probably Foxy who runs it.
Is doing then, yeah.
What a great
yeah, you're gonna be getting the follow request very, very, very quickly.
But the answer is just stop oil, Louis, obviously.
Oh God, yeah.
We need him back. Is he still in prison? Is he out?
I think he's out now, isn't he? But
we could get him to be the toffee lady.
Yeah, get that man a season ticket.
Yeah, I mean, would he want it? I mean, has he not suffered enough for his art?
I want to see a dramatic like reenactment of that at half time when we play Newcastle in a few weeks.
Yeah,
and like get Baines to play Just Stop Oil Louis. And like just get like we need someone to play the steward with the like scrunched up face. Yeah.
This sounds very much like a Bill Kenwright Productions, Matt. I'm glad to see you on board.
Another feather in his cap for the running of Everton Football Club. Yeah, I reckon Sharpie could do that. I reckon he could do the face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'd be good as this. Yeah, it'd be good as the. Yeah.
Just if not, if he's a bit reluctant, just show him a koala bear. And he will do the face.
We could then reenact the McNeil headlock from last weekend with Barrett Baxter, couldn't we?
That was almost DDT levels, that wasn't it? He had him the wrong way around, just to smack him down there. Just on the Newcastle game as well, midweek again.
Yeah. What I mean,
Always
what a
midweek.
perfect time to do it. Like, you know, the reenactments, that was under the lights as well.
Yeah.
Thursday night, you know, it's the perfect time.
Got to be done. Phoenix from the Flames. Let's have it. Last few questions. Alex has asked, if the Everton squad was the Fellowship of the Ring, this is top nerd in this. Who would take the ring to Mordor? Pickford, safe hands. There you go.
No, but then he Pickford would definitely like not throw it in at the end, wouldn't he? He would definitely like be cursed by it and not have the willpower to do it.
Yeah, unless he got so fucked off that he couldn't put it on with his goalie glove on, he just launched it. Potentially.
But then would Gollum be able to chew through the goalie glove to get his finger off, like at the end?
Depends if he wears those finger save ones, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting through them, is he?
No, definitely not.
Mikalenko, I think.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. Because like Frodo was not like an obvious choice, was he? And he's like very mild mannered, but like there's like a bit of a steeliness and determination to him. And I think Mikalenko, and I also think Mikalenko would look quite good in those like hobbit capes and short pants and no shoes.
Or could you get to Mordor just by going sideways and backwards?
Oh wow! No, yeah, I'm happy. Maybe Nathan Patterson. I reckon it'd be all right.
Just bomb it.
Yeah, just bomb it forward.
Yeah. It's a shout. Foxy.
I think you've got to think about what the ring is, what it represents. So I think the ring represents the Everton right back position. So Bilbo Baggins is Seamus Coleman. Agree with Matt that then Frodo Baggins is Nathan Patterson. And if you kind of think about that right wing player at the moment, then Sam, got no surname, is Iwobi working together. But they've also got Gollum who goes to Mordor with them. So who's Gollum? I got Cuco Martinez from a few years back. He's still trying to get back on the pitch.
Trying to get it right back.
He claimed that right back position. So I think between Cuco, Nathan and Iwobi, I think we've got our three.
I would pay to see that, to be honest.
Be cracking. But in terms of who most looks like Frodo, probably Baines.
Yeah.
Been a lot of Baines chatter like this.
It's always good. It's always helpful.
Dan, do you send them to Mordor?
Well, I have no idea what any of this is. I've been to the home of this film. I've sat in bars in New Zealand where every third person has had a role in this film. It's always like, oh, my cousin, he created the giant feet.
Good accent.
You know, stuff like
that was a Belton accent.
It was good.
So, well, my wife's from there, so it's sort of it's easy. You know, I've had years of it. I was saying to someone the other day, we were sitting there, and she's watching something on Netflix, and she goes, "I go, what are you watching?" She goes, "It's just one of those. It's just one of those miniseries, you know, one of those miniseries." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "I just started it like last week. It's one of those miniseries, you know." And I went, "What the hell are you talking about?" She goes, and she points at the telly. And I'm like, "That's mini-series." Miniseries, mate. I'm just watching one of those miniseries. But yeah, so I've even seen the cinema that he built in Wellington that shows these films 24 hours a day. It's got a dragon coming out of it.
Really?
Yeah, there's a cinema. He bought this beautiful old cinema, and when I went there, first time I went there nearly 20 years ago, they had this thing, and they just showed it all the time. But I've never seen them. I have no idea what it's about. I'm aware that there's these characters that I can recognise because I've seen posters and things. I'm aware that there are men with big beards in it. I'm aware that there are. My son, when we went there last time, we went to Hobbiton, and I've got a picture of him with the ears and everything, the prosthetic ears on and all that sort of stuff. But the rest of it, you might as well be speaking Esperanto, mate. I haven't got a clue.
All right, so you pick an Everton player who's going to save the world.
Okay. Amadou Onana.
Fair. Great shout.
He looks like he's been carved from some sort of ancient sort of, planet that's just been discovered, and he's been basically formed out of some sort of impervious rock.
Yeah.
He's an absolutely strikingly amazing specimen of human stuff. He also comes across as pretty ace in general.
And then he's got that singing voice as well. Have you heard that?
He has, yeah. He's got a lovely voice, like a siren.
Yeah.
So I think he'd be amazing at doing whatever this guff is.
You could basically let him do anything, and he'd be good at it.
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah, he's just great. I want him to score so badly it hurts.
Yeah.
And you just think, I just want him to rise, not like a salmon, because he's a lot bigger than that. I don't think he'd have to rise very much. He'd just sort of have to sort of tiptoe, wouldn't he? But I just want him to power a header home at the weekend. And hopefully what I'd like it to do is hit that goalkeeper's face, because I hate that goalkeeper.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'd like it to hit him in the face.
Yeah, he's such a gobshite.
Hit him in the face, spread his nose across his boat, right? And then go in. I don't want it to go straight in. I don't want it to make the net bulge or anything Roy of the Rovers. I want him to catch it perfectly. It hit that geezer straight in the middle of the boat. Splat him like when you get a sachet of ketchup.
Yeah.
Like that. Sachet of ketchup, bang, nose, bang, like that. He falls back into the goal, and the ball just dribbles in, just encroaches over the line, just enough for it to be the winner.
How funny was last week when you saw on the scores Martinez OG 90+4?
Oh, wonderful.
Like, this is brilliant.
Absolutely wonderful.
And then to see him jogging back like from that corner. Brilliant. He's a terrible, terrible fella. And will definitely have a worldie against us. Yeah, he's got a channel in a Sebastian Frey against Villa. Last one from TWS. This is a good one to finish on. Fined by the FA for Derby. Fined by the FA for some Leeds no mark throwing McNeil into the paddock. What are we getting fined for against Villa? Just before anyone answers, I apologise to anyone watching this on YouTube after the Villa game. But here we are. What are we getting fined for against Villa? Tweedle apparently will not be there, I wouldn't imagine.
Oh yeah, that was his game, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
It won't be any bottle throwing incident.
Sounds like breaking Emilio Martinez's nose is going to be up there.
One way or another.
Yeah. What else can we do?
So it's been not controlling our players, and we've got the getting the bigger fine against Liverpool was wild, wasn't it?
Well, we got it because we've been fined already, didn't we? That was why. Whereas it was their first offence.
Okay, fair enough.
I reckon maybe a last minute winner leads to like a mini pitch invasion. Let's go for that.
Yeah. Been a while, yeah. Let's have a pitch invasion. Let's get on the pitch.
Or
sorry,
a controversial T-shirt. One of them. Player scores.
Yeah.
Who would it be that would have a sort of heavy political leaning?
What would Idrissa Gana say, Dan?
Let's not pull a that then. Yeah, I'd like to. If it was anything, it would be nice if it was aimed at the Knowsley racists. That would be nice. I saw like Galaxy Brains saying it's not in Liverpool. Well, it's not. Come on, don't try and disown this. Just own it and do something about this. So something like that would be nice. The deadheads.
Or what about maybe Decore scores, right? Raises his shirt up.
Already down, but go on, keep going.
Right, raises his shirt up, and it says on his t-shirt, "Frank's a twat and Bill is great."
What's wrong with any of that? It's all good.
Yeah,
maybe Idrissa has one saying "In Dice we trust."
Maybe he does.
Maybe
with a rainbow under it.
Yeah, upside down rainbow.
Players don't have t-shirt messages anymore, do they? Like,
no,
doesn't gone, hasn't it now?
Yeah.
I mean, the only good thing Robbie Fowler ever did was that Dockers t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, another super.
Henri used to have them all the time, didn't he?
What's that?
Yeah.
Henri used to have them all the time, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's a lost art.
Yeah.
It is. Bring it back. And nothing too like fancy. Just literally a vest with a marker pen, scrawled something on.
Yeah.
That's the way
Pies.
to do it. Foxy, what are you going for?
I reckon we get fined for having too many people in the technical area. So we'll have Wone, Stone, and Dice together, and it'll be 3 people, and that's not happened ever in the history of football, and we'll get fined for it.
Stick it on the Everton timeline outside. Yeah.
Or it'll be we've got 6 people in the penalty and there's a 6-yard box at a corner, and that's now too many people to be when you're attacking a corner. So that'll be like encouraging the goalkeeper fine for being too attacking. Or
Yeah,
direct.
they'll just make something up.
It'll have to be made up. It'll have to be.
Or we'll score loads of goals. They'll all get ruled out by VAR, and they'll be like, "That was too many VAR calls, so we're banning it."
There's too many pillars in Goodison.
Did you see that thing in the week that Brentford said about their fans and their so if you don't go to 4 games, then you got to get your tickets taken off you? Maybe that will happen to the board.
Oh yeah.
Like that, this is like 3, isn't it?
Yeah,
3 strikes and you're out.
So maybe like they'll have the tickets taken off them. Like if they were the Brentford owners and stuff, they'd be getting confiscated.
Yeah, the rules.
When do you reckon they'll be back? Do you reckon they'll be back soon? I'm hoping, clearly.
I don't think.
The long-awaited return.
You'll be there clapping like Phil Taylor.
Down to the front of the paddock. Here we go.
It won't surprise me if like one of them came back this weekend. Maybe like Bill just like lay across all the seats because he's got loads of space.
And then Mr. Burns' moustache. No one killed them, right?
The finance guy. Does anyone know what the finance guy looks like? If he came back in,
he could get away with it, couldn't he?
No one would know. Just wear a hat, be fine.
Unless you had watched Toffee screaming on Twitter about him. I mean, no one knows who or cares who he is, do they really?
No, not really.
I think I would forgive a lot of Bill Kenwright's misgivings if he came on his own and just lay across the 3 seats at the front, like on a plane with the armrest up. Just like
if you turned up. Do you remember like, you know, I mean, I'm of a certain age, and entertainment on television was incredibly simplistic when I was growing up. It didn't take a lot to get a family gathered around the the 18-inch tube.
Yeah.
But do you remember there used to be comedians that would come on and they'd have like a curtain pole. They'd have like a big coat on and a curtain pole and like dummies hanging off. So it looked like they were a wall. It looked like they were a kind of a gang of 3 people. It'd be great if he came in like that. So he comes in, he's got a suit on, like David Byrne Talking Head suit. And out of it is this curtain pole, and he's got a sort of Denise doll and a Graham Sharp doll. And he just sort of sits down with them like that. And he's got like 2 false arms like this, holding a pie. And he's working them with his own arms like that. Looking like looking at him and
just giving reactions to what's going on.
Yeah. And when we score, he has to get up like that, and they all go with him like this. That'd be immense.
And you know what? As Foxy said, the genius of Bill Kenwright, it's not beyond the imagination, is it?
No, definitely do it. I'll message him.
Do it.
A couple of calls to some prop houses in the West End.
Yeah.
You know, a bit of 3D printing. You get Sharpie's face, Denise's face, 3D print them. You can do wonders these days in a shed. You know, you get Rod Hull's old fake arm. He's probably got access to that, I reckon.
Grant Ingles at this point is like, well, what about me? It's like, no one cares about you.
Who
are you anyway?
Grant Ingles is there in a fake beard and a sort of like a fez. And those, those glasses that got holograms of eyes on, He looks across at Bill and goes, this wasn't in the plan. I think anybody's noticed.
Line 121.
I've got to say, if this doesn't happen, the Villa game will be a massive disappointment.
I'm not going to go. I'm going to walk out.
Boycott it ourselves. Right, lads, that's it. That's all the questions done. It's as ever, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks, Matt.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Foxy. Nearly called you David then. Doesn't sit right there. Thanks, Foxy. Thanks, Dan. And thanks to everyone who sent questions in. I think we're now up to date with our questions, so we'll need loads more next week. And we will catch you then on Mailbag.